My name is Paige. I'm a 32-year-old housewife. My husband, Kevin, our daughter, Penelope, and I, we were living happily and peacefully. However, since our neighbor Chelsea moved in, my peaceful days slowly got destroyed. Chelsea and I met through our daughters, since we both had daughters in the same kindergarten. One day, while I was on my way to the kindergarten to pick Penelope up, I saw Chelsea arguing with a man who seems to be her husband at the corner of the parking lot. I heard the man scolding Chelsea about how she tends to skip picking up her daughter. Apparently, she didn't want to pick her daughter up, so he dragged Chelsea to the kindergarten to pick up their daughter. I just happened to hear their conversation while I passed by, but it felt like I was eavesdropping, so I hurried and walked away like nothing happened. However, when I walked by the parking lot again, now together with my daughter Penelope, Paige! Chelsea called my name and stopped me. Oh, Chelsea! I've been on my guard ever since Chelsea and I first met, because this woman has a habit of saying things that are not true, and the words that come out of her mouth are usually messed up. That's why I tried to get out of there as fast as I could, so I said, "We're in a hurry, so bye. See you next time." However, Chelsea gave a stern look and said the following. Paige, you were listening to the conversation I had earlier with my husband, right? What do you think of how he talked to me? He's such a jerk. I feel very offended. Well, that jerk. He went back to his office, but he just really annoys me. This is just between the two of us, okay? My father is actually a very wealthy man. Is that so? And the house I'm living in right now is a gift from my father. And I'm letting that jerk live in that house with me, you know? That ungrateful jerk. How could he talk to me like that when he's sponging off of me? This is crazy! Maybe I should feed him to my daddy's pet lion. My dad actually likes ferocious wild animals, you know? So he has several ferocious animals as pets. Amazing, isn't it? You're jealous, right? Oh, this is very depressing. Too depressing. This is beyond depressing. By the way, I remember Chelsea talking about her husband. She mentioned how her husband is very rich, and she also said that she only married him for the money. Then asked me if I was jealous in a rhetorical manner. What is the truth? Is it her parents who are rich, or is it her husband? Oh, this is very puzzling. Her stories sometimes contradict, so I have no idea what the truth is. So Penelope and I walked hurriedly towards the gate. That night, after we had dinner and after I tucked Penelope into bed, I talked to my husband about Chelsea. However, the moment I sat on the sofa, Kevin stood in right away and said,
I'm tired. I'm going to bed now.
He said rather coldly and walked out of the living room. Kevin has been like this lately. He doesn't seem to take an interest in me and Penelope lately. He's been coming home late at night for consecutive days now. When he speaks, all he talks about are complaints about his superior at work. I wonder if things are not going well for him at work. I wonder if that's the reason why he's been coming home late. Maybe he's just drinking to relieve stress. However, when Penelope runs to Kevin and asks him to play with her, he shouts at her saying she's annoying, and he doesn't even go visiting days at the kindergarten, complaining that it's a waste of his time. But of course, when he uttered those words, I got furious and all fired up. Honestly, there are days when I've even thought about getting a divorce. There were times when I thought that maybe it would be better to raise Penelope on my own without having Kevin with us. The next day, I sent Penelope to kindergarten like always, and then I picked her up from the kindergarten after. Then I bumped into Yasmin, a fellow mother who loves gossip. She called me at the parking lot. We live far from each other, and our children belong to different classes though. Paige, I heard the rumors that your husband has an annual income of $100,000. That's amazing. Huh? Oh, that's probably... What? With a puzzled look on my face, I tried exposing the truth to Yasmin. But then, Chelsea suddenly appeared out of nowhere and she started talking fast. What? Your husband earns $100,000 a year? Makes sense. That's right, that makes sense. So that's what it meant. Come to think of it, I saw your husband and daughter come out of the condominium the other day. Your husband is very handsome, isn't he? Huh? Good idea. How about you give your husband to me? What? Yasmin and I were completely mortified at what she said. I want to break up with my husband. I've decided. Yes, I have decided. Even if you say no, I will steal him from you by force. If he earns $100,000 annually, then I'm not afraid of anything, be it alimony or child support. What? This woman's inhuman behavior and insane statement, I couldn't keep my mouth shut anymore. Hey you, if you keep talking like that, you're going to get hurt. Frankly, Chelsea, you're not normal. You're an abnormal person. Chelsea reddened her face and raged with anger. What? I'm abnormal? Are you trying to say I'm insane? How dare you say that to my face? Huh, whatever. Brace yourself. Chelsea said that and stormed out of the parking lot. Watching what happened with Yasmin was enraged. After Chelsea was gone, I listened to Yasmin talk a lot about Chelsea. Apparently, Yasmin lives close to Chelsea's house and she's friends with Chelsea's husband. According to him, Chelsea doesn't take care of their child and doesn't do household chores properly, so her husband is pretty beat. Since that day, Chelsea didn't show up at the kindergarten and her husband picked their child up. As for me, I was relieved again, since I didn't have to see her face again. However, about a week later, Chelsea appeared at the kindergarten parking lot. She ran towards me when she saw me and she waved. I was waiting for you. I ignored her and tried to pass through without stopping, but then she said, Your husband with an annual income of $100,000. He's mine now. What? With a shocked expression on my face, I looked at Chelsea. She then showed me her phone, with a picture of Kevin and her. You've gotta be kidding me. What is that? 100 days after the divorce, Kevin and I will get married. I have successfully stolen your husband. I mean, that means I am more attractive as a woman than you are, right? You ugly frog. This woman! I couldn't believe that it was true only from the pictures, so I sent the message to Kevin telling them that Chelsea was claiming they were having an affair. However, he ignored my message. I was restless while waiting for Kevin to arrive home. Then at 2 a.m. in the middle of the night, Kevin came home in a very good mood.
I'm home.
Kevin, did you read my message? Don't tell me it's true.
Oh, that? That's true.
This bastard! He's laughing!
I think it was sometime last week. I was on my way to work, but then she was waiting for me outside and she told me I was waiting for you. Going to work was a hassle anyway, so I lied to you that I went to work, but the truth was that I went out with her and played the whole day. And I was even with her until about an hour ago.
What? So that means you don't go to work as well?
Of course, because I don't have to go to work anymore, right?
I was disgusted with myself for falling for this bastard who easily got fooled by Chelsea. I was utterly dismayed by Kevin. That's when he said,
I'll pay whatever amount you want as settlement money. So go ahead and look for a lawyer. By the way, you can have Penelope.
What? Did you just say that I can have Penelope? Does he think that Penelope is a thing and not a person? From his words to his actions, I was enraged by everything about him. Hey, you! Have you told Chelsea what your job is?
Huh? What? Why?
Kevin was restless and shaking. I can tell because I've been with him for years. I should just the right revenge for these stupid fools. You should taste rock bottom, you idiots! That night, it seemed like Chelsea demanded a divorce from her husband. She probably didn't want me to bombard her with questions. Then Kevin left the house. He then came back home 2 days later. I then called Kevin and Chelsea to meet me because I needed both of their signatures for the settlement agreement regarding alimony. Those two idiots were making out at the front porch while waiting for me to open the door. They couldn't stop flirting with each other even when they were in the living room. Okay, hurry up and show the settlement agreement to us.
That's right. Stop slugging and hurry up and hand us a settlement agreement.
I ignored the two and took the settlement agreement from my room. You're really fine with this, right?
Yeah, sure. We'll sign it right away. So hurry up and hand me the agreement.
You probably shouldn't do it. You really are fired up with lingering feelings. Just give up already, because Kevin and I are meant to be together. We're soulmates, you know. Is that so? Well then, if you say that much, I guess I'll let you sign this. You're fine with a divorce, right? There's no turning back, you know. You two.
All right, we'll sign it right away.
Yes! It's already too late even if you wanted to stop. It's already too late even if you wanted to stop. There's a reason why I said it twice.
Stop muttering and give it to me.
That's right. Please read it carefully before signing it. Listen, check carefully, okay? They signed the agreement right away, as if they both didn't hear my warning. I watched them sign the document, then I asked them the following question. And so does that mean that one of you will pay it in full? Yes, that's right. So who will be paying? Answering to my question, they said in unison, He will. They said that and pointed at each other. Huh? To that reaction, I couldn't stop myself from laughing. What? But I thought that your annual income is $100,000.
What? I thought your father was a very wealthy man.
When I looked at their faces, they both went pale and their eyes were full of shock. That's when I pointed out their misunderstanding. Chelsea's father is not really a wealthy man. According to one of the mothers at a kindergarten, her husband is quite an elite though. As for Kevin, he's an ordinary office worker. And as for the person who has an annual income of $100,000, it's my mother who runs 2 companies. What? They shouted in shock and stood up. Hey, you! What's the meaning of this? You proudly told me that you have an annual income of $100,000.
That's because you flattered me, saying that you like high-spec men. So I thought it was fine to go with the flow. I mean, didn't you mention that your father is very wealthy?
That's because you said that Paige is the daughter of a wealthy family. So you married her thinking that you could live a comfortable life. So I thought that you really like money. And then I thought that if I told you that I have more money than Paige, you will choose me instead of her. This is all your fault.
What? It's all your fault.
Oh my, when you were just flirting minutes ago. It's true that relationships centered on money will end till 10 money dries up. In the end, they fought physically, grabbing each other's hair. I couldn't help but laugh at how apathetic they were. By the way, once you sign the agreement, it's almost impossible to overturn the contracts. Good luck paying the $90,000 alimony. I can tell by their reactions that they were very shocked, because they froze like ice sculptures. That is why I told you to sign the agreement. After reading it carefully. Please forgive us. Then Chelsea and Kevin apologized to me together.
I thought I'd be able to play as much as I want using Chelsea's money, so I told my boss to F off and hand in the resignation letter.
Looking at their pathetic states, crying and begging for my forgiveness, I replied to them, I don't care, whatever. I responded coldly. That's when the intercom sounded, so I ignored the 2 of them still apologizing profusely, but ran towards the front door. And I was met at the door by Chelsea's husband and his friend who was a lawyer, so I invited them into the living room. Actually, I asked Yasmin for help and got Chelsea's husband's number. I also already told her about my plan to take my revenge on Kevin and Chelsea. When Chelsea saw her husband's face and Kevin saw the badge on the lawyer's suit, they sat upright and went weak all at once.
You'll have to pay alimony to me too, you know, so brace yourself.
I'm sure they completely contemplated when they saw his cold facial expression. They really are idiots. They cried when they were both escorted out of the house by Chelsea's husband and the lawyer. After that, Kevin and I got divorced, and Chelsea and her husband also got divorced. I got custody of Penelope, and Chelsea's husband got custody of their child. I'm glad the children still go to the same kindergarten. Both Penelope and Chelsea's son look happier after the divorce. By the way, as for the 2 who need to pay me alimony and child support, Kevin couldn't find a regular job, so he has to work part-time and work early morning until late night. He divorced me because of his affair, so his parents were very disappointed and angry at him. He doesn't have anyone he can rely on, and he became thinner and thinner by the day. He looks like a mess now. As for Chelsea, it seems like she also started working part-time too, but because of her attitude, she got fired after a few days at work. She borrowed money from loan sharks and ended up getting shipped to an unsafe place. I heard this is where she's working now. She doesn't feel like living. She lost 70 pounds and her hair turned white. That's what's written in the letter that was sent to her ex-husband. There's no need to mention that her ex-husband tore the letter to pieces. And as for me, Penelope and I are now living at the employee's residence of the company my mother runs. My work is also taken care of by my mother's company. And about childcare, my mother and her friends helped me. They are a great help. Oh, by the way, I bumped into Yasmin the other day. Yasmin, thank you so much for your cooperation. I'm glad to be of help. By the way, did you know that a handsome new teacher will be teaching at the kindergarten? Yasmin, I've always been wondering, where do you get all your information from? I heard the teachers talking about it from across the 2-lane road in front of the kindergarten. My ears catch all the sounds around me. When I was a student, I was the president of a mystery club, and everyone was afraid of my hearing abilities, so they called me Bat Yasmin. It sounds like Batgirl. So cool, right? If that's the case, then I guess your costume for the Halloween party will be Batgirl. Oh, I wonder what costume I'll wear. Thank you for watching! What kind of crazy people will we get to see next? Stay tuned for more!